Hey, what's up YouTube? Chrono here, and welcome back to the PSO2 guide video. So our topic today for this video is going to be something that I know a lot of people probably have already messed up on NA. Unfortunately, I didn't get this video out soon enough because my old video technically was still usable, but I did want to do an updated one just in case people had any questions. Usually they want to look at newer videos anyway. So we're going to talk about mags. Now mags, that little pod that's floating next to me, if anyone's familiar with Nier Automata, mags are kind of important for PSO2. They are basically support devices that provide you extra stats. Now, the way your mag kind of works out, essentially, this guy's going to work mostly towards feeding your mag. Now, mags have a total of 200 levels that they can get, meaning that's their cap. You can't get any more. You can always have less, of course, but you can't get any more. That's a combination of all the skills add up basically for every level that's there. Now, when you first get your mag, it's going to be a part of like going through your arc stuff. Eventually get to a point where they're going to give you a mag. You equip a mag and it's going to tell you, hey, feed your mag. Now, this is where people mess up. They just feed your mag willy-nilly. I know it's not really explained how your mag, or what you should feed your mag and what you should have there. But as you feed items to your mag, you'll see different increases. So what you'll end up doing, you see my mag right now has 0 energy. Now my mag is capped, so you're not going to be able to see what increases what specifically, but it's not going to be too difficult once you understand kind of what to look for. Now, when you go to feed your mag, when you mouse over an item or when you highlight an item itself, it's going to tell you what stats you're going to get feeding your mag that item. Usually weapons are by default going to give you a bunch of a stat for the main stat of the weapon itself. So like striking weapons are going to give you a bunch of striking, range weapons are going to give you a bunch of range, technical weapons are going to give you a bunch of tech. On NA, I believe this is called melee power. It's still range power, and then I believe technic power. So it's still mostly the same. They're still in the same slots, but it all kind of adds up to being the same thing. Depending upon the weapon type, it's going to give you that actual support level. Now, the trick here is you don't really want to get your mag mixed with a bunch of different things. Notice how I had a bunch into dexterity, but I never finished leveling dexterity. Now, the way that happens is I actually fed my mag weapons, and it gave it a bunch of striking, but it also gives it a little bit of dexterity each time. And whenever my dexterity got too high, I would feed my mag something that would reduce his dexterity, but increase something else. I believe at that time it was items, like mate items, that you would reduce dexterity, but you would increase another part. I think at one point someone during our stream said that room items do the same thing, but whatever the item may be, you want to make sure that you're increasing the stat that you're trying to increase without leveling up anything extra. There are very few situations where having a combination mag of like 2 different types of stats is going to be beneficial for you. Now, if doing that is just too annoying for you individually, just feeding your mag a bunch of weapons and having it get striking and dexterity isn't the end of the world, really. You actually can get an item from the X-Cube, or the X-Cube exchange shop, or the X-Cube shop, that will lower its level by 1, and you can pick what to lower, but that's extra resources that you don't have to put into your mag if you know how to feed it in the first place. Now, if you're making a dexterity mag, it's super easy. You just feed it you feed it skills from the skill discs. Makes it really easy to level up. Now, the next question usually people have in these situations are, when does my mag get a special ability, and what type of mag should I be making? So it gets special ability, I believe, at level 50. The type of special ability that it gets can be changed at the X-Cube shop. You can swap out some, or you can provide some X-Cubes in payment and get a different ability. As you can see, I have a striking mag, but it doesn't have the unicorn thing that it summons, that Xeno summons during the intro quest that you actually do, or during the intro tutorial that you do. I have something different. It summons like a dude with a sword and he slashes with me and stuff like that. Usually people use one that sucks enemies all together, or that regens your PP. That's pretty common. But whatever you choose to use, that pops up first at level 50 and can be changed. Now the second is, what mag should I be using for my class? That one is a bit more difficult to answer. Most of the time it's going to be whatever your main stat, whatever important main stat you have is going to be the mag that you're using for your class. So I'm going to pull up something here really quick and run through the class info and give you guys just some basic knowledge of like what type of mag you should be using. If your main class is Hunter, in most cases, striking attack mag. Fighter, most cases, striking attack mag. Rangers and Gunners, range attack mag. Force and Techers, This one's a bit weird, but I'm almost positive, if I remember correctly, Force Attackers are always going to use Technic mags or Tech mags. There might be some nuances that change things up a little bit. Now, Braver and Bouncer is a bit weird, or is a bit different. So Braver and Bouncer actually recently have switched over to using what's called a Dex mag. You're going to use Dexterity as your main stat on your mag, specifically because you have a skill on your tree, which we'll talk about during the skill tree section. You have a skill on your tree that takes whatever you put into Dexterity and also gives that stat in all the stats that you need for that class. So for Braver, you put all your points in Dexterity. However, you also get a 1-to-1 ratio for striking attack and range attack, because they benefit for striking attack on their katanas, but range attack on their actual bows. Bouncer is the same thing for striking attack and technic attack. For every point of Dexterity that's on your mag, you get a point in striking and technic attack. Now, the reason these are important is because some class combinations require that you actually get your mag leveled up to give you enough points, like enough base points, to be able to equip the weapons you're trying to equip in the first place. Some endgame weapons are pretty high up there, and they require that you have the right type of mag. So, for example, I play Atoll, which isn't available in NA just yet, but to be able to equip my weapon at the level I was going, I needed to make sure I had my proper mag equipped, so I had to have an S-Attack mag. Granted, I don't think I would need my mag to be able to equip my weapon, because I think it's Dexterity based now. Yeah, it's Dexterity based, and I have enough Dexterity off of the base to be able to equip my weapon. But it's something that you might come across, so keep that in mind. And that's pretty much it when it comes to mags. There's one other thing that I didn't mention, I apologize. There's an item called a, that you can feed your mags. It's not called a mag device. When you first unlock your mag and you go through your ARCS missions, they're going to give you a bunch of mag food. Mag food, the way that works out is a bit different than feeding it normal items. You actually don't go to feed item to give your mag food. Mag food can be given to your mag that increases its stats specifically for this type that its egg is going to give you. So you'll get, I believe, 50 of striking attack, technic attack, range attack, and dexterity. If you feed your mag striking attack, it's going to give it more striking damage. Cool thing about mag food is that it does not matter how much energy your mag has. Something I didn't mention earlier is when you give your mag an item, it increases its energy. When its energy is capped, it's like the mag is full. It can't eat anymore. You have to wait for its energy to go down to be able to feed it more. That way you can increase the stats again. Now, the mag's attacks, it won't use any of its special attacks. You won't get any of its attacks at all if it has 0 energy. You have to make sure it's kind of a balance. You want to keep its energy up. You also want to be feeding it the right things. So while you're leveling it, make sure you're feeding it correctly, and also keep its energy up if you haven't. I believe it goes down to 0, from 100 to 0, over the course of about half an hour. And that's even while you're outside of missions. So if you actually look, my mag should have already gone down to like 98%. Yeah, it's already down to 98%. And it feeds it in sections of 33% and up. So just because it's at 98% doesn't mean that I can feed it again to push it back up to 100. I have to wait until it drops below 66% before I feed it again, or drops to 66% before I can feed it again. But yeah, the way those items themselves work out is feed the item, increases the stat, doesn't matter how full it is. It doesn't actually fill it up, but it doesn't matter how full it is. But that's really about it, guys. If you guys have any other questions or concerns about mags, this is kind of like a little fragmented, but I wanted to do just a quick little guide on what mags are, how to feed them, that sort of thing. That way you guys are kind of equipped for that information. But if you have any other nuances, any other information about it, toss it in the comments below. Again, I didn't talk about Summoner. I don't know Summoner very well. I know that there's certain pets that require different types of mags. So I would recommend talking to a summoner or checking out the ARCS Fleet Discord. There's a section about summoners, and I'll probably try to find the link to that Discord and toss it in the comments once I get permission to do so. Anyway, guys, I will catch you guys later. Peace.